I recently attended Forward Summit East, Canada's premier conference for Indigenous economic empowerment. Originally, I was asked to moderate a panel. Then after talking with their marketing team, the summit invited me to document the event and share my experience. I participated on a panel last year at the same event, so I knew it was going to be extremely engaging and filled with very influential people and leaders in corporate reconciliation. This year, I was asked to moderate a main stage panel, which was absolutely a step up in involvement, time commitment, and responsibility, which was a huge honor to be asked to be in such an important role among Indigenous leaders and corporate executives from across Canada. Walk with me to see what this journey was like, as of course, I brought my camera crew. I met and chatted with some pretty awesome people, and I can't wait to share it with you. We're at the Forward Summit. Just got ready, and we're about to go register and see what it's like and what to expect here. Videographer hasn't arrived yet. We're supposed to be meeting him at 8:15. I have a little stuffy nose today, which is kind of gross, but that's okay. We're gonna make do. So looking outside, you can see how beautiful the resort is here at the Casino Rama Resort. This is the view outside of my room. I think it's really nice. So let's go downstairs. I arrived and checked in at the Casino Rama Resort directly after facilitating another workshop in another city. And coincidentally, this is the busiest time of the year for Indigenous reconciliation events in Canada and gatherings surrounding truth, honoring the injustices on Indigenous people and communities. Casino Rama is a major entertainment venue in Ontario, offering a wide range of gaming options, live shows, and dining experiences. This incredible resort, conference, tourism destination is located in Rama First Nation, Minjikuning, and is home to the Chippewas of Rama. Rama is a community with a rich history and cultural heritage. The culture and history has a significant role in the region's development. I was actually there just a couple months ago for their annual powwow and the All-Ontario Native Fastball Championships. I was pumped and ready to meet and speak with and hear from as many leaders and professionals on the issues that matter most to Indigenous community and economic development leaders who are working in Indigenous relationship building and many other areas. One of the highlights was hearing from the inspiring speakers on the youth panel who kicked off the event. I spoke to them afterwards as they were coming off stage. Right before lunch, we got to chat with the president of Forward Summit, Rob Miller, about the event.
I come from a Métis background. My mother was Métis and my grandmother was Cree. Didn't know that as a youngster, so I've been on a journey myself to kind of bring that to life, and I thought what a purposeful and meaningful role it would be to help me support this organization around economic reconciliation for our Indigenous communities, but also inclusion in the workforce.
After lunch, the women's panel included my good friend, Michelle Francis Denny. Michelle is from Bird Construction, who was a sponsor at the event, and Michelle shared her knowledge and experiences on the main stage.
We came and we did booth sponsorship last year with my colleague Virginia and a couple other of our colleagues from this area, and we just returned this year. I'm actually a speaker on the panel this year, so that's exciting.
Amazing. Now, why did Bird decide to sponsor at the Forward Summit?
So one of the things that Bird is really passionate about, which aligns with my own passion, of course, being, community-based, is being involved in economic reconciliation activities. How do we share and spread awareness? How can, corporate Canada and communities kind of merge on ideas?
A big part of Forward Summit was participating in roundtable discussions. I spent some time reviewing my notes, preparing my questions, and getting ready to engage with some meaningful conversations with fellow attendees. I was excited to hear different perspectives and learn from other people's experiences. My favorite panel, though, that I sat in on was the importance of understanding treaties and reconciliation. It was amazing to hear the extensive knowledge Chief Dean Sawyers had and how this critical piece of truth and reconciliation requires effective communications plans. Obviously, this jumped out at me as a marketing communications professional. It felt really good to have something that I'm passionate about be clearly reinforced by a well-respected elder and leader like Chief Dean Sawyers.
Ani, bonjour. Keishigabawik Indigenous, Obishkakang and Donjaba, Wabishki Maing and Indodam. I'm from Lac Seul First Nation, and I have family in Alderville First Nation, as well as Winnipeg and Toronto. I'm here representing Smoke Architecture, which is 100% Indigenous owned, majority Indigenous operated, all-woman architecture firm from Hamilton, Ontario. And so we're offering project management, engineering services, and other services that I couldn't offer through Smoke Architecture. And we just had a birthing ceremony for Amplify Indigenous Voices in Architecture, which is a new charity I'm starting to support young people entering the building industry professions and supporting elders to share traditional knowledge systems in our traditional ways of sharing knowledge.
Are you here from your photography?
No, I'm here for Hydro One.
Oh, okay. All right. Yes. I love your getup. Your outfit is beautiful. So what did you think of the youth panel and just the summit so far?
It's really great. It's so inspiring to see people who are advocating for youth and education, and they're just powerhouses. You can tell that they're really passionate and excited about what's to come. So it's inspiring to see that.
Hi, I'm Sean Conway. I'm from Curve Lake First Nation, and I am here with Atkins Realis as the Indigenous Participation Specialist.
And Sean, is it your first time at Forward Summit?
It's my first time. I've always wanted to come, though.
And what has your first impressions, what's your experience so far at the summit?
I think it's been really great so far. I think they started it off in a really good way with a youth panel, and then was able to jump into another roundtable with Matt Jameson and some folks from the Six Nations Development Corporation. Love hearing what they're doing and taking a lot in.
Yeah, so I'm Will Rogers, NIST Security. I'm the president. I grew up off reserve in Bowmanville, but I did live in Alderville First Nation for a while. We do operate security cameras, alarm systems, AI detection and stuff, and guards across Ontario and Canada for anything big.
Amazing. And what are you looking forward to in the next your remaining time here today at the Forward Summit?
I'm just trying to finish some of the connections, get a hold of some of the people that I got a hold of maybe 2 years ago, but I can't get through the noise again. And really just try to finalize some stuff and draw some business in.
My name is Dennis Curtis. I'm a TCN Council member. That's the Tasqueyaw Cree Nation in Northern Manitoba. So my portfolio is housing and infrastructure, economic development, and government services. I also do some finance. The finance model that we have is being worked on right now, but that's going to come into place soon with the FNB and stuff like that. So my background in economic development, mainly based from college, where my professors pushed me to go beyond my limits and go overseas and do some work over there, where I was able to participate in economic modeling. So I had to get acculturated, go to the communities, see what they wanted, and not there to tell them what to do, but to hear what they wanted to do and facilitate how to do it.
As I was getting ready to moderate a panel on community healing and economic development, we got ready backstage, getting mic'd up and trying to get the notes on the teleprompter, which we couldn't figure out how to do, so I just took my printed notes with me. Moderating is a whole different beast compared to just speaking to your own experiences for a solo presentation. On the panel, we heard from inspiring leaders working directly within First Nation communities who've practiced healing approaches and interconnecting economic development work with community well-being. The audience was so engaged in these meaningful and thought-provoking discussions, and I heard an overwhelming amount of praise from participants afterwards. Some of the feedback was on how each of the speakers helped them capture a new understanding or inspired continued momentum towards doing the tough work to bring nations closer together. For me, it truly was a healing event, being captivated by Indigenous leaders and incredible allies who just get it. After an event like this, I feel confident and invigorated knowing that together we're shaping the future of Indigenous economic empowerment. So what were my biggest takeaways from Forward Summit? First, the power of Indigenous knowledge. It's becoming more clear across the corporate industry settings and in communities that our Indigenous knowledge systems offer some very valuable insights and solutions to contemporary challenges that are systemic without a clear path forward. The second takeaway I took was the importance of cross-cultural collaboration. So by working together, Indigenous communities and champion allies within corporate organizations can achieve great things. Cross-cultural collaboration also creates amazing work cultures and opportunities for diverse groups of people to bring solutions forward that they otherwise would never even thought about, and ideas they may not have come up with had they not been challenged with adversity and new ways of thinking. My third takeaway was the role of youth. Young Indigenous leaders are driving innovation and change. Youth and community engagement emerged at this event through each session, and the importance of capacity building across communities, all aiming to empower Indigenous voices within economic and social frameworks. And understanding how creating space for youth is imperative, and it's also nuanced within Indigenous audiences and Indigenous youth. Specifically for communications and Indigenous relations professionals, some of the key lessons that I learned here was that cultural competency and respect is different and it's more important. Building trust with Indigenous communities requires deep cultural understanding and honoring our community values, such as transparency and shared decision making. The second lesson that stood out to me was ethical storytelling. Authentic narratives and respectful representation are essential, and avoiding stereotypes and empowering Indigenous voices whenever possible. Another key lesson that I could hear other people taking from this was the importance of long-term relationship building. Partnerships should be built on mutual benefit and long-term commitment rather than transactional approaches, and that is completely consistent with the ways of being and the ways of thinking within our communities. So let's keep the momentum going. Check out Forward Summit to learn more about upcoming events and opportunities to get involved. And next, as we reflect on this year's Forward Summit East, we're excited to look ahead to the future. Together, let's build a brighter future for Indigenous communities. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.